Holy shit in a sandwich. It's time for the show. Time to get the show fucking rolling, children. Are you ready to roll along, roll on down the river, roll on with the funky time, fresh show, the best show. It's the only show you need to worry about anymore, children, at least for the next fucking, let's say 15 minutes. For the next 15 minutes, this show will fucking take care of all your fucking your blues and your merriments and your worries and your wearies, and you can lay them all down by the shore and let the seaside currents just wash them all away. Yeah, that's right. It's time again for this program, this one where the Uncle fucking whatever show, where I come on and I fucking teach you about something cool. So what am I going to teach you about today, kids? Today I'm going to teach you about one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. That's the monsters in my pocket. It sounds kind of dirty when I say it that way. It's not, children. I'm talking about the fucking toy. I'm talking about the toys, Monsters in My Pocket. You fucking know about the Monsters in My Pocket? They were fucking designed by, they came out of Mattel. Mattel's a fucking toy manufacturing company. I'm back in fucking 1989. 1989, children, they came up with Monsters in My Pocket. They're a bunch of little tiny little dudes, little like small, soft plastic figures. They didn't have no moving parts or anything. They were like little statues of monsters. Monsters. Can you fucking believe that shit? There's a fucking goblin and a werewolf. And they'd have a fucking number fucking on the underside of them. They have two numbers. One of the numbers is for telling you what you could find a map, and then you could look up that number and it would tell you let me Mr. fucking Goblin here. Mr. Goblin, he's number fucking 10. Is that his number? No. Fucking hold on a second, kids. Well, he's supposed to have two numbers on him, and I can only find fucking one. One of the numbers is his fucking identity, and the other number is his powers. See, because the characters are all rated on a scale of fucking a sliding power scale. Some of them are just a level 5, and that's the fucking lowest level there is. And some are 25, which I think is the highest there is. There's guys like they got fucking some crazy shit, man. Fucking one of the biggest ones in the whole fucking box is the Beast. The Beast, children, from the Bible. The fucking seven-headed beast that fucking followed, I don't know, the fucking Antichrist out onto the fucking, land to devour humanity during the days of Revelation. They made a fucking toy about this. Which I think is fucking awesome. I love that shit, man. I ain't got no problem with it. I just think it's fucking crazy that they had the gall and the gumption to do it. That they weren't scared that some fucking religious group would say hey, you can't do that. That's fucked up. And in fact, that's just what happened. But they were other groups. I don't know if the Christians went after him, but I know they did a thing where they said that the god, the Hindu god Kali, they said she was a monster. They were a monster? I don't fucking know who Kali is. I'm not gonna try to fucking I think they're female, but I don't know. And they were like, hey, that's our god. Please don't call our god a monster and sell it to little children. And children, that's a terrible, that's a really bad thing. You shouldn't teach people that other fucking cultures are fucking monsters and shit like that. There's a downside to it. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, it's just a harmless little kid's toy. It doesn't really fucking matter. No, it fucking dehumanizes those people, and it fucking degrades their entire fucking society, and you might just think it's a religious thing. And I don't give a fuck for religious things, but the point isn't that it's a religious thing, it's the fact that religion and culture is really fucking closely intertwined. I wish it wasn't so, but it is, and us pretending that's not the way it is isn't gonna fucking help anybody or help anything. The truth of the fucking matter is that culture and religion are intertwined in so many intangible and invisible ways that we'll never truly understand where one starts and the other stops. So, as much as I fucking am a fucking non-believing piece of shit who doesn't think nothing about anything, if I could make everybody fucking think like I think tomorrow, what a fucking beautiful world it would be. I wouldn't even mind, man. I wouldn't fucking, everybody would be able to like, yeah, but you'd kill everybody in the entire world just to replace them with copies of yourself? I'm like, man, some days, I mean, I wouldn't hurt myself. Wouldn't it be crazy if it was? Like, if I did that and then I still just, like, devolved into weird, like, fucking tribalism and hatred? But I can't imagine I'd do that. I mean, it would be fucked up and I wouldn't be cool with it. I don't know what we'd do. What would we do for food? What would we do for anything? If there were just suddenly fucking 7 billion Uncle fucking whatever the fucks, like, all fucking like, hey, listen to my fucking podcast, watch me on YouTube. Like, I wouldn't invent the internet. I don't know how to fucking keep it running. Man, that shit would fall apart in a couple of days. What would we all do? We'd all move to where it's fucking warm and nice, and I guess a whole bunch of us would have to become farmers, and then at any rate, we'd all start having different life experiences, and those experiences would turn us all into different people, and like, some of us would become angry and resentful, and some of us would probably like live better lives, and fucking there'd be a weird hierarchy, and I'd be like, man, there's only supposed to be fucking one of me in the whole fucking world, and we still can't get it right. Still can't fucking get it right. Anyways, that's my fucking Twilight Zone episode pitch, children. It's the universe where there's only one me, and at first it seems awesome, and then the farmers revolt, and it all becomes awful. Monsters in My Pocket. They're from a cool company, and some of them are little tiny ones, and some of them are fucking dinosaurs and shit like that. And there was a comic book, which I fucking, of course I had it. Like, why wouldn't I have that? You know me, kids, I fucking love comic books. So if I love Monsters in My Pocket, I'm gonna get the Monsters in My Pocket fucking comic book. And I did. It was alright. It wasn't great. It was fun. I was happy that I had it at the time. I was a real sucker for those kind of consumer products. I was that kind of a purchaser when I was a little one, children. They would sell me on one thing, and generally that would be the only thing I'd get. They would do like a video game or a cartoon, and then they would do a tie-in comic book, and I'd get the tie-in comic book, and I'd never see the fucking video game or the fucking cartoon, because I was fucking living out in the fucking hillbilly nowhere. No fucking electricity or television, children. Can't watch cartoons, and you can't play video games if you ain't got no television. So that's why I live out here in the real world now, where there's fucking hookups to the internet, and I can fucking do shows like this, children. Imagine if I could do this show when I was just a little fucking stupid kid, man. I'd love to do that shit, man. Try to get people to pay attention to me and fucking hear all my insights. I'd probably do a show about Monsters in My Pocket, one of my fucking favorite toys at the time. There was fucking, what were there? There was gremlins and harpies and cyclopses and Bigfoot, and he was fucking there. It was a crazy time, children. 1989. 1989. Can you even fucking conceive of it? Can you imagine such a time, children? Can your little minds open up to it? I can't. It's too long ago now. But that's just how it goes, You wrestle with all your internals. What are we talking about? I'm talking about these cool little toys. Cool little toys. They're not nothing, You go into a store and you pay $5 and you get a whole fucking package of them. Now they fucking cost like 4 times that much, children. They brought them back. Oh no, that's Muscle Men. I'm getting mixed up. I'm thinking of Muscle Men. Muscle Men are pretty cool too. They're based on a fucking anime out of Japan. They were basically a similar sort of thing, except they were wrestlers instead of monsters. And like these monsters that I'm talking about, the Monsters in My Pocket, they're all like mythological things. If you ever read that book, Hellboy, he's always fighting shit like that. Weird monsters from history and from... They're almost like a variation on, like, they used to do that for bubblegum cards. You'd buy a pack of cards and there'd be a stick of bubblegum in it, and you'd eat it, and you'd be like, oh, what a good fucking human being I am. I'm a child, and it's sometime in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I fucking just love chewing bubblegum and buying cards. And we don't really do that anymore, because, who fucking needs a card now that you have phones? Like, it used to be special. You know, like where would you get a fucking picture of a fucking hockey player in the 1950s if you're a little kid? You can buy a fucking magazine. You don't have enough money for a magazine. You're a fucking little kid. You're lucky you're not fucking dead in a coal mine somewhere. Fucking, I was reading about. I wasn't reading. I was watching a TV show or something. And they were talking about when they had to install a labor law to keep people from working little children from being worked to death. They had to make a law about it. And people fought that law. People were like, no, that's bullshit, man. If I want to fucking work a kid to death, I should have the freedom to work that kid to death. And that's the problem with freedom, children. It's a wonderful fucking toy, but holy fuck, do people ever do some grotesque things. It's an excuse. It's an enabler. So you gotta... freedom, but with restrictions, and if there's restrictions, then is it still freedom? You know, that's what you got to ask yourself. Is it still freedom with restrictions? And it's compromise, children. This is a show about compromise. This is the old uncle fucking drinking and laughing and cheating at cards and smoking cigarettes and fucking just being bad people. It's a bad people show, children, for bad little kids like you. That's why we do it. Ah, jeepers. Oh, jeepers. I'm never prepared for how strong that is. It's probably hitting me a little bit harder than it should, but this show, children, must go on. It must go on. I don't want to stop. I don't want to ever stop. I don't want to have bad dreams or nightmares or fucking be a strange confluence of forces that doesn't know how to cope with its own meaningless of its own existence, children. What do we talk about when we do something like that? I don't know. I just want to not be a piece of garbage, children. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for a chance to not be a complete piece of shit for one fucking day of my life. That's all I'm looking for. Monsters in my pocket, children. What are some other monsters in my pocket? Oh man, they're cool. There's a zombie. They did a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They did a guy called Spring-Heeled Jack. Who the fuck was Spring-Heeled Jack? He's an entity in English folklore of the Victorian era. Ooh, la-di-da-da. The first claimed sightings were back in 1837. And then people all over fucking Britain were like, yeah, I seen him. He was Spring-Heeled Jack. He looks like a fucking Batman. He looks like he was Batman. Was he eating people? Oh, God only knows. Black cloaks, oilskin, fucking ghosts and goblins. God damn, we were a weird species. I mean, we still fucking are, man. Fucking people are like, oh, I seen that ghost. He lives in this neighborhood. I call him Jim. Jim the Ghost. Fucking, what are we doing? Seriously, people, what are we doing every fucking day? Every day, a little bit more noise and a little bit more silence come colliding together. A collusion of forces and entities and big-time thoughts and fucking, just all sorts of rambling nonsense that makes you feel good and wonder about what the fucking point of it all is, children. Well, that's a good question. I'm Uncle fucking whatever the fuck. And today has been another... today we're talking about monsters in my pockets. My favorite one is probably, the Goblin. He's pretty cool. I love the Great Beast. I love the Great Beast of the Apocalypse. I love that I got a little fucking toy for him. I feel like somewhere out there's a religious group that's like, that's not a toy. That's deeply offensive, and you should not be making jokes about the coming of the Antichrist. It's a real war we're all going to have to face. I'm like, fuck you. Jesus Christ. But those people got more buying power than I do. They got more social influence than I do. All I got's this motherfucking show, which means it's just you and me, kids. You and me against a whole fucking world of fucking nerds. But I don't mean that in a... Some nerds are some of my best friends. I'm probably a big fucking nerd. Look at me running this show. Hey, anyways, this has been my show, the Uncle Fucking Whatever Show, where we've been talking about monsters in my pockets. A real cool toy, kids. So if you love cool toys, then I hope you enjoy listening to this episode where I hope you learned something about them. And if you did learn something about them, then why don't you go out and treat yourself to a fucking... Take a long walk in the sunshine, children. If you don't have any sunshine, good night. Goodbye.
That's all she wrote.